Okay. All right, everyone, raise your hand if you love fall. I know it's basic, the chunky sweaters, the pumpkin spice lattes, the brown leather boots, but it's so pretty. And it's our last chance to see so many gorgeous colors before the world turns white and gray for the winter season. At least it is for me up in New England. So, well, fall can be kind of a tricky season for some of us because fall means that our Instagram feeds are going to be filled with Miss DIYer Extraordinaire's photo shoot of her front door pumpkin patch. Or maybe if it's even the Gen X girls, sorry, y'all make it look so easy with your hair and this and the pants. Like how come Gen X can wear mom jeans and it looks good? Like I don't understand. Where can I have a little bit of that confidence, please? Where did you get that? And can I get some too? Okay. Anyway, the Gen X posting their perfectly curled hair and their big influencer hats, you know, the ones they're like those fedora things. I don't know. So all that's on your feed. And then there's those tired moms scrolling the feed on her phones, rocking the messy bun, and sipping on a leftover applesauce pouch because that's all we've had for lunch today. Coco Melon probably playing in the background. Am I right, Lisa? So this is a perfect opportunity for us to play the comparison game. And I know we've talked about this before, but this is a little social media health check, I'm going to call it. And I've got some things to say. So here we go. Fall can also mean the holidays are coming up, and those can be hard. I can tell you from personal experience that October is not a great holiday for me. A lot of bad things happen to me in October, and I struggle. I struggle in October. We're not going to really talk too much about that topic today, but rest assured that Lisa and I are going to be talking about difficulties of the holidays, you know, being with family or not being with family, or upholding this tradition or that tradition, or whatever it is. Unfortunately, holidays can get messy, but Lisa and I are going to be talking about that on a different episode. So make sure you stick around for that. So today it's just you and me. Lisa is out visiting family, and so I'm flying solo today. We're going to talk about how to win the social media comparison game this fall. Some tips and tricks you need to know before October 31st. It is sneaking right up on us. And we might even end on a spooky note just because it's the season and I didn't know where else to put this story. So this is the perfect time for me to share this personal life story that I have, which is, it has a great ending. I promise. You don't need to be worried or concerned. I promise it ends on a very happy and silly note. But along the way, you're going to be like, what the heck, Brittany? What is going on? All right, well, let's start with social media. I love social media. I love pictures and videos, and the way that social media has really exploded in the last few years, like, is insane. And I know that COVID had a lot to do with that. Quarantining had a lot to do with that, but it's insane. I love documenting parts of my life and sharing that with my friends and my family. I love it. I love having this digital document. There's definitely a downside to social media, and I'm pretty sure I don't have to explain that to you. Never before has the comparison game ever been so readily available to us. When I was a kid, I would compare myself to actresses or celebrities that I saw on TV or in magazines. I'm not saying that I should have, but I'm just saying I did, okay? Now your average woman can flaunt herself on Instagram, on your Instagram feed, and make you feel like a big fatty. Sorry, that's just how it is. Not only are some of these women absolutely gorgeous, but they have designer kitchens. Their front porch always looks like it came right off of Pinterest, and their vacations, like, seriously, don't even get me started on how magical their vacations are. But here's the thing. We don't need to play the game. I'm not harping on these women, okay? Don't hear me wrong and don't start writing mean comments to me. You need to hear me out, okay? I am not harping on these women. I'm not body shaming them for being this way or that way or this thin or that thin or curvy or not curvy or whatever, okay? We all have different bodies. We all have different life circumstances that lead us to having different bodies. That's not where I'm going here. Okay. I'm not trying to make them feel bad either for having nice things. If they have a designer kitchen, they have a nice car, they've got whatever, I'm not trying to make you feel bad for having those things. But it's so easy to see someone else with something that you don't have and to immediately start to compare yourself. And I don't want to tear them down either, but here's the thing. Her success is not my failure. I heard that quote a few months ago and it really stuck with me. Her success is not my failure. A couple things can happen when you start to compare yourself on social media. You will either start to tear yourself down and tell yourself you're fat, you're ugly, your hair is outdated, your house is outdated, your kitchen is a wreck, blah, blah, blah. You're either going to tear yourself down or you're going to start tearing down the other person because you're trying to make yourself feel better, which is why women start body shaming each other and mom shaming each other because you're trying to make yourself feel better. Neither of those options are the way to win the comparison game, okay? Her life is not your life. And if she's got a gorgeous body and everything looks great on her, well, good for her, okay? That's her success. You have successes that she doesn't have, and you don't even know it. She's got a big house with giant windows. She has enough organic pumpkins in her front porch. She could legally call it a pumpkin patch. Good for her. Hit the like bucket, hit the like button and move on. If that's the way people decide to spend their time and their money, and it's something that they're really good at, well, great, let them have that. Okay, at the end of the day, we all have our own journey and we all have our own successes. Did you get to wake up today? That's a success. Did your kids eat today? Success. Is your home a home of love and laughter? Success. We're going into a season of gratitude, and it's high time we live that way all year round, not just at Thanksgiving. Look around. Is there a mess on the floor? Be thankful you have healthy kids running around to make that mess. Is your sink full of dishes? Well, thank goodness you had something delicious to eat for dinner. We all can't have what each other has. We all can't have the same successes, the same strengths. We don't all have the same story. We all have our own. So stop comparing your life to Jennifer down the street, change your perspective, and live your own journey through motherhood. Encouraging to you, I was talking to myself just as much as I was talking to you. But let's do something a little more fun and let's jump into some fall tips and tricks to try out this season. Number one is pumpkins. Did you know that pumpkins are a fruit? Maybe I'm just an airhead, but I thought pumpkins, because they're a squash, they were a vegetable. They're not, they're a fruit. Like, I know there's like that debate, are tomatoes a fruit or a vegetable? They're fruit. Pumpkins are also fruits. Am I the only one who didn't know this? Pumpkins are fruit. Well, fun fact from the University of California, the practice of carving jack-o'-lanterns was brought into America by Irish immigrants. In their homeland, the Irish used to carve jack-o'-lanterns out of potatoes or turnips. Like, if you think you're struggling to carve an intricate Elsa out of your potato, you're carving your Elsa out of a pumpkin this year. Just imagine trying to do that out of a potato. Like, I don't even want to think about it. No, thank you. I'll pass. Just turn it into French fries, please. So they used to carve them out of potatoes and turnips, but upon the arrival in America, they began to use pumpkins instead because they were far easier to carve. The tradition of the jack-o'-lantern stems from an Irish legend about a man named Stingy Jack, who was somewhat unpleasant. He was an unpleasant character, and he was famous for playing tricks on people. Now, I don't know about you, but I do love some old folklore. I love some old traditions. And so I was looking back at some of these old Jack stories, Stingy Jack stories, and it was just a fun time for me. I enjoy being read stories. I think we all do. I read stories to my kindergartners. I like stories being read to me too. Anyway, if you've got older kids, go ahead and carve those suckers. You can find tons of free templates online and you basically know the drill. I don't need to tell you how to do this, but if you've got some little ones running around your house and you'd rather stay clear of the knives this year and maybe avoid a hospital visit, here are 3 ways to decorate your pumpkin. Number 1, painting. Please don't just like roll your eyes at me and say it's so messy. Well, okay, yes, it is going to be a little messy. This is going to be the messiest of all the 3 ideas that I share with you, but you also don't have to get anywhere near a knife. So take it or leave it. Acrylic paints work the best. Don't stay far away from the finger paints. They're not going to stick. It's not going to work. You're just going to end up with a big mess. Get some acrylic paints. Walmart has some very inexpensive acrylic paints, and it comes in just about every color you could ever think of. Throw on an old t-shirt as a paint smock. I like to get like a man's button down shirt and I put it on the kids backwards so that the buttons are in the back, and that just helps them avoid messing up their clothes, or you know what, just have them wear something that you don't really care about, because you know we have bigger things to worry about than just a little paint stain on your shirt. Put some cardboard down on your table or on your surface. If it's warm enough, paint them outside. Take the mess outside, just hose it down when you're done. Unfortunately for us in New England, it's too cold to do that outside. So I just had them do it on the kitchen table, but I had a big Amazon box. So I cut that up, laid it on the table, and the kids painted on that. I didn't have to worry about them getting it all over my table. There's no knives. It's a little bit of a mess. Okay, I'll give that to you. Yeah, it's a little bit of a mess, but the pumpkin will last longer and you're not cutting into it. So I might be saving you a trip to the emergency room and some stitches. So there's that. Number 2, this one is so fun. I wish I had done this when my kids were little. Mr. Potato Head pumpkin. So you use an electric screwdriver to make holes in your pumpkin. And then you get those little pegs from the Mr. Potato Head kit, like the little nose, the eyes, and like the little hands and all of that. And you can poke them into the pumpkin. Now, I think you should do this with like a little pumpkin, because I think it could look kind of weird to have a giant pumpkin with these teeny weeny little eyes and like a teeny weeny little nose in comparison. But I mean, you do you, boo. You do whatever you want. Maybe you can try it out with those little gourds that they sell at the grocery store, those little like bumpy ones, or as I like to say, those little like pimply ones. Those are fun. Yeah, just drill some holes in there and you can poke the little pegs inside. And then this is super cute for like little toddlers, because it's something they can totally do on their own, and they can change it out and just mess with it and play with it. You're probably going to want to like rinse them off, the little pegs, after you're done, because they might have a little bit of pumpkin juice on them, and that's not something you want to have just laying around your house. So just give them a little quick rinse and they'll be perfectly fine. It's a fun way to use Mr. Potato Head pieces, and it's no mess. Like, thank you, Brittany, for offering me something with no mess. All right, the last one is Adhesive Gems. Now, I could not find these at my Walmart only because they were out of stock. And I was so sad, because I know I've seen them there before, but they sell these big, gaudy plastic gems at the Walmart or the craft store that are already sticky. They already have the adhesive on the back. And that is just like winner, winner, chicken dinner. Yes, please. Thank you. So grab yourself some of those. Okay. How pretty would it be to cover one of those white Cinderella pumpkins, like make it all sparkly pink and purple and just like all the pretty colors? It's just very low mess. It's great for their fine motor skills and all of that. And your pumpkin's gonna last for a really long time, because again, you didn't cut into it. So I'm actually doing this with my girls later this week, but my girls asked if they could paint their pumpkins pink and purple first. So we're kind of combining 2 of these tips into one. You go ahead and take your pumpkin and put it in their room next to their nightlight, and the gems will just kind of like sparkle. Oh, so pretty. And there's no fire, there's no knives, it's perfectly safe. As long as you don't have kids who are gonna like eat the gems. Okay, keep it away from little children. It's just so fun. So let me know if you decide to do any of these pumpkin tricks. I would love to hear how it went. You can contact us through this show, or you can reach out to me on my Instagram. I'd love to see your pumpkins this year. That would just be so fun. All right, let's talk about Halloween parties. These are things to do if you get invited to a Halloween party, not if you're hosting a party. Lisa and I already talked about an episode where we were talking about birthday parties, and you can go back and listen to that one if you need some party tips. In fact, let me look up on the internet right now what number that was. Okay, here we go. Episode 29, planning a great birthday party. If you go back and you listen to that one, we've got some party tips for you. But this is stuff for like if you get invited to a party, okay? Now, I love being invited to things. I'm an extrovert when I get to the party, but I'm an introvert the rest of the time. A high functioning introvert. I don't know what the term is. I like going to these things, but let me tell you, I will have so much social anxiety before and after I get there. The whole way there, I'm just like nervous and freaking out. Okay, I'm not going to be weird today. I'm not going to be weird. I'm not going to make people think I'm weird. Everything's fine. Be normal, be normal. Then I show up and then I start to be goofy and people like laugh a little bit. And I'm like, oh, they think I'm funny. And then like I do right now, I overdo it and then people think I'm weird. So anyway, Halloween parties, what to wear for moms, 3 super simple ideas with things you probably already have at your home, because I'm sorry, shopping for a Halloween costume, like there's only 2 options. There's either like the DIY your own, where it's like going to cost you like $200 to make this thing, or there's like the super short, sexy version of Disney princesses. And I'm not here for it. I'm here for comfort and I'm here for frugal. So number 1, dig through your closet and find your little black dress. Everybody has a black dress. Throw your hair up in a bun, add a chunky necklace or some fake pearls, some sunglasses, maybe have a little fast food bag as an accessory, and bam, you're Audrey Hepburn from Breakfast at Tiffany's. So easy. And you probably already have those things. Classic. All right, number 2, if you're not into the Audrey Hepburn thing, and I don't know why you wouldn't be, she's an icon, grab your jeans, a flannel or plaid shirt. You can definitely borrow one from your husband. Throw on some suspenders. You probably also have some of these in your husband's closet. If not, Walmart has them super cheap. Grab some boots, a little winter hat. In Canada, we called them a toque. I don't know if that's what they were called in the rest of America, but we call them a little toque. And timber, you're a lumberjack. It's so easy. And this would be a super great like couples costume, because as long as you both have jeans and you both have flannels, you're pretty much set. It's like the easiest couple costume ever. And if you want to go the extra mile, take some of your eyeliner and draw yourself a little beard. You don't have to. I mean, that stuff's, you got to scrub that stuff off later. So you do you. All right, number 3, so easy. You probably already have all of these things in your closet right now. You're going to need some jeans, a jean button-up shirt, a red bandana. Okay, do you see where I'm going here? You throw your hair up, you wrap the bandana around your head so the little bunny ears like stick out, slap on some bright red lipstick, and holly dolly, you're Rosie the Riveter. So easy. Oh, it's so easy. And even if you have to go out and buy these things to make your Halloween costume, these are basic clothing staples, or our closet staples, that you can be wearing all year round. And so you're not wasting money. Okay, so you got invited to the Halloween party. What the heck are you going to bring? You got to bring something. Well, you can bring spooky chocolate chip cookies with the little eyeball candies in them. I just talked about these in episode 34. So go ahead and click back and listen to that one after you're done listening to this one. They are so easy to make and the kids absolutely love them. Those are the hardest treat to make out of all these 3 treats. Like that one's the hardest one. If you can make the chocolate chip cookies with eyeballs in them, you can make these other 2. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right. The number 2 snack that you can bring, or a little treat that you can bring to your next Halloween party or harvest party or whatever it's called, is Rice Krispies, but you dye them green and you put fun sprinkles on them. It's so easy. Rice Krispies are always a winner at my house. And like it takes maybe like 5 minutes to throw the thing together. You put it in the pan and you let it sit for an hour or two to like totally set. It's so easy. And it's always a winner. Everyone loves Rice Krispies. It brings you back to your childhood. Pretzels drizzled with candy melts. That's my third one. Again, so easy. I am here for easy because you know what? We have better things to do with our time. It's a super easy recipe. It's a big crowd pleaser. This one kind of has like a little bit of a wow factor to it, just like a little bit. You grab a bag of pretzels, like the big chunky pretzels are like the best ones for this, or like the ones that are like the little grid, like those square ones. Those are really good. They have a lot of like surface area to cover so that the chocolate really like has a lot to stick to. You grab some of the pretzels, some candy melts from the decorating section, like in the cake section, get a fun color because why not? Maybe some sprinkles. I know I talk about sprinkles a lot, but my girls love sprinkles. We put them in everything. They go on our pancakes. They go in our oatmeal. Sprinkles are everywhere. They on our toast, bagel and cream cheese. You got to put sprinkles on it. So grab some of those. Pretty basic. You lay the sprinkles out on some parchment paper. You melt the little candies according to the package directions. You just drizzle that over the pretzels, throw on some sprinkles. You let it set. You should probably do this the night before. I always do it like an hour before we leave and the chocolate never sets. So don't be like me and do it earlier. Okay. And then you're done. You just like scoop them all up, throw it in the bowl, bam, done. And the last thing I'm going to say about parties, you need to get in the photo. Okay. I know as moms, we can feel really self-conscious about our looks and the way that our bodies are after we have kids, but you need to get in at least one photo with your kids. You don't need to hang this one up in like the family dining room on a giant canvas, okay? Just get in the photo, print it out, stick it in the photo album, or however you do with your photos. You need to get in the photo, okay? Because later on, your kids are going to want to look back through all of their memories, and they are going to remember how much fun they had with you. They're not going to remember the rolls on your tummy. They're not going to remember how big your thigh was. They're not going to remember your double chin. They're not going to remember that. What they're going to remember is how much fun they had with mom and how they laughed and the memories they made. So get in the photo, please. That is your assignment. Do not end the night without getting in at least one photo. Okay, so we're done. We've talked about our social media health check. We've talked about our Halloween tips and tricks. After the break, I'm going to tell you my spooky story that actually happened to me. So go ahead and reheat your coffee. You know it's already cold, and I'll meet you back here in just a couple minutes. Okay, I did not script this part out because I just need to tell it as it comes to me. Okay, this is a true story. This happened to me. I think I was 17 in this story. So a young lass. I was staying with this family and they had a bunch of kids, and every Thursday or whatever, they would go out and do karate or taekwondo. I'm sorry. I don't know what it was. They wore robes and they went, hiya. Okay. I don't know what they were doing, but they did it as a family. Well, one Thursday, they had to go to this really, really late thing for their taekwondo or karate or whatever. I'm sorry. They went to one of those things, and their youngest daughter, it was going to be way past her bedtime, and it was a school night. And so they asked me if I would watch her while they all left and went to this thing. And I was like, yeah, sure, that's fine. I can do that. Now, keep in mind, I was living with them at the time. Okay. So, and I'll share more about that another episode. Anyway, I was living with them and I'm like, yeah, sure, go ahead. Cause I didn't do taekwondo. Like I am not coordinated enough for that. So they left and they're like, all right, we'll be back by such and such a time. And I'm like, cool. So because I lived with this family and there were like a million kids in this family, I never got to take like a really nice long shower. And so this was my golden opportunity. And so I put little Susie down. We'll just call her Susie because I don't want to say her real name. I put little Susie down in her bed because it was bedtime. And I'm like, all right, Susie, I'm going to jump in the shower for a little bit. Okay. And then I'll come out and I'll probably head to bed too. And she's like, okay. And then my stupid 17-year-old self said, hey, Susie, like on my way to the shower, like I had like my towel in my hand and I was like almost there and I just should have kept going, but I didn't. I turned around and I said, hey, Susie, yeah. Do you know what to do if like someone breaks in the house while I'm in the shower? Like, what an idiot. What an idiot. And she looks at me with the biggest eyes I've ever seen. And she's like, no. And I was like, and this kid, I don't know, she was maybe like 8 or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay. So if someone breaks in the house while I'm in the shower, I want you to get out of the house and run to the neighbors. And she's like, okay. And just the look of horror on her face just should have been a big red flag to me. And I just stopped right there. So I'm like, okay, bye. And then I jumped in the shower and it was a nice long shower because I didn't have 5 other kids waiting to jump in the shower after me. I could just take my sweet time. So I take my time. I get out of the shower and I'm in my pajamas and I walk down the hall and she is sitting straight up in her bed, wide eyes, saying, I couldn't go to sleep. I was scared. And I just, at that point, I realized my mistake. And I said, oh, Susie, it's fine. I'm up now. It's fine. You go to sleep. Your family will be here soon. And she's like, okay. And she was exhausted. As soon as her head hit the pillow, she was out. So I'm walking around the house and it's kind of dark. Okay. It's kind of dark outside. And because I'm a dummy and I scared this 8-year-old, now I'm a little spooked. Okay. And I'm hearing things. All right. It's kind of windy out. There may or may not be some tree branches scratching across the window, making little creepy noises. And I'm talking myself down. I'm like, hey, Brittany, it's fine. It's all fine. They're going to be back soon. This is just all in your head. This is fine. I kid you not. I am not lying when I tell you the next part of my story. Okay. This is 100% true. The phone rings. Okay. And so I go over and I answer the phone. And again, I'm going to change names. I'm like, hello, this is the Joneses. I am not kidding you. Here's what I heard. Hello, this is the Joneses. Hello. Hi, how are you? Is this the Joneses' house? Yeah, this is it. Are they home? Nope. And then I hung up the phone. I'm serious. This is what I heard on the phone. I was freaking out. Okay, getting a little like, okay, it's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Now I'm really hearing noises. Okay, and I'm walking around the house, looking at the windows and not seeing nothing, but my mind is going places. And I'm like, it's fine. Everything's fine. It's fine. It's fine. The phone rings again. I let it ring like 2 or 3 rings. And I'm like, I got this. Okay, I answered the phone. Hello? Hello? Is this the Joneses? I hung up. I did not stick around. I was like, oh no, they know I'm home alone. They know where I am. They're outside. They're coming to get me. Okay. Okay. Remember the part where I told you that this family did like karate or jiu-jitsu or whatever? Do you remember that part? Okay. Well, they also had these decorative samurai swords in the living room on display. And I saw them. Okay. And I was like, you know what? This is going down. This is going down right now. And I got this little 8-year-old girl that I am babysitting, and I am responsible for this girl. And I am going to defend her until my last breath. And so I went in the living room and I very ceremoniously removed the swords from their sheaths, and I had one in each hand. I was also wearing my cow print pajamas and my hair was dripping wet, but I was ready. Okay. If anyone drove by the house and saw me like marching around the house with these samurai swords, they probably would have just called the police and been like, can you go check on house 243 on Elm Street? Because I don't think they're very well. So I'm walking around the house. I'm doing patrol. Okay. I start hearing sound in the basement, and it is not my imagination. I am hearing thuds and doors. I am hearing noises. I positioned myself at the top of the stairs, okay? And I'm looking down the stairs at the basement, and I'm psyching myself up, okay? I am getting ready. I'm like, all right, they're gonna come up these stairs. I'm gonna scream bloody murder, and I'm gonna charge, and I've got these swords, and I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Okay, I'm prepared. And then I hear my brother's voice, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. And then I hear this other kid's voice who also lived in the house. I'm like, oh, that's weird. Then I hear like the parents and like all the people, and I'm like, oh, they're home, and they came in through the garage. I'm like, cool, they're home. I immediately look at my hands and go, oh crap, they're home. I ran to the living room, threw the swords back in the sheath, not very ceremoniously, had just enough time to slide to the front of the stairs, put my elbow on the top banister, and casually rest my head on my hand. And was like, oh, hi guys, how's it going? And they're like, oh, hey, Brittany, how was your night? And I'm like, everything was fine. She went to bed like a champ. Good night. And I didn't tell them that story for a little while because I was kind of embarrassed. But I was ready. So keep that in mind. If you ever need me to babysit your kids, first of all, tell me to not tell them scary stories about people breaking in. And second of all, just coming through the front door, please. Coming through the front door. Oh, and you're probably wondering who was on the phone. Okay, because I didn't imagine that. I tell you, apparently their like great aunt had throat cancer, and she had to have surgery. And ever since the surgery to remove her throat cancer, she had a very raspy voice like this. She scared me half to death. And I met her later, and I just felt terrible. And I'm like, I am so sorry I hung up on you. I'm so sorry. And she forgave me. So that is my spooky story. I hope that you all have a wonderful and safe Halloween. Again, send me pictures of your pumpkins. I would love to see it. Reach out to us. I'd love to hear how everything goes, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.